Hi guys, this is Full Time FM and welcome to a brand new episode of the Tactical Guide series. For those who don't know me, I'm a football manager content creator. I've been invited by FMScout to do some tactical guide videos for their website and YouTube channel. Now the series has been pretty good. I've had some good feedback from the previous videos. I'm glad the previous tactical guides are working for your teams. But in this episode, there's going to be something a little different. I've had tons of requests for a tactical guide video for the lower league teams, like the Conference South, the Conference North, the Conference, Sky Bet League 1 and 2. And if I did every single team in the lower leagues, it'd take me about 50 years to make, upload, and all that carry on to get them onto YouTube. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Wealdstone as an example how this tactic is going to work that I'll show you in a minute. Reason being, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Wealdstone. We all know the Wealdstone Raider. You must know who he is. He's about 5'5". If you want some, I'll give it you. You've got no fans. You know what I mean. Wears glasses. Thinks he's Mike Tyson. Kind of reminds me of a Jack Russell. Do you know the little dogs that bite your ankles? Whenever you're walking your dog through the park and you see a Jack Russell trying to fight a Rottweiler, you know, that's what he reminds me of, the Wealdstone Raider. About 5'5", thinking he can take on the world. So what I'm going to do is use Wealdstone as an example. And this tactic should work for the Conference South, Conference North, the Conference, the Sky Bet League 2 and Sky Bet League 1. So what I usually do is go to the squad and go through all the players, which I'm not going to do in this episode because this tactic is going to be for all the teams. And obviously each team has a different set of players. So what I'm going to do is go straight to the tactic, show you how it will work, and you can give it a download yourself and see if it works for you as well. So because we're using the lower league teams, we've got to scrap kind of like technique and mental attributes. So what I'm going to do is show you how the tactic works. Because instead of using technique, dribbling, and you know what the best players have in the Premier League and the Championship, Serie A, La Liga, stuff like that, we're going to have to try and scrap technique because these players in the lower leagues don't have a very good technique. No disrespect for them, and we're going to try and use physicality, determination, work rate, and teamwork, which the players in the lower leagues do have. They might not have the best technical attributes, but they're still determined, they're still brave, they could be aggressive, they'll have good work rates. Some of them are quite strong and quick. They're just not very technical with the ball. So we're going to try and get the best out of what we've got. So the mentality is going to be control. You want to try and control the game. The team shape. When I do my big teams in these tactical guide videos like Barcelona, Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man United, Liverpool, I usually have it on fluid or very fluid. But because we're using a lower league team, I want it flexible. I want to be a strong, solid unit. Work as a team. It's not going to be any individual brilliance. It's going to be a team performance when you use this tactic instead of using individual attributes. And the instructions will be go more direct passing. I don't want you to confuse that with go route 1. No disrespect to Sam Allardyce, but go route 1 is the kind of tactics that he uses. Someone like Andy Carroll up front, bang it up to him and hope for the best. It's more direct. So instead of Watts banging it all the way up to Lewis there, it'll be Watts, O'Nien, and then Lewis. If he was playing it short, it'd maybe be Watts, Cronin, Cochran, Davis, Ball, Wright, Lewis, and then have a shot on net at the goal. So it's not go route 1, it's not retain possession, it's more direct. It's get the ball up quick, as fast as you can, and try and get the ball in the back of the net. Passing to space, because we're going to be using wing backs in this game. In this tactic, sorry. So we want to be passing into space to the fast wing backs. Whipped crosses. We're going to be using a target man, so we want the crosses to be whipped in, so the target man can be used to full effect. Play wider. We want to stretch the pitch, because we will be using wing backs. If we're going to play narrow using wing backs, it won't really work. So we want to stretch the pitch, get the wing backs hugging the flanks, and they'll be very effective hugging the touchline. Push higher up. We want to try and pin the opposition in their own half and not let them get out. Close them down. If we've got them pinned in their own half and we're closing them down, it will make the opposition panic. They'll just kick it long or kick it out wide, put a lot of pressure on them, make them panic, not give them any time or space, and that will put them under a lot of pressure, forcing them to make a mistake. Use the offside trap because we're pushed high up the pitch, higher tempo and more disciplined. Now, in my other videos, I always say more expressive because that's what football is about. But in this tactic, because it's lower league teams, I want the players to do exactly as I say and try and get rid of individual brilliance. As I said before, I want it to be a team effort and be more disciplined and do exactly as I say. So if we go onto the player instructions, these players are just filled in as an example. Like I said, each team will have their own set of players. So for the player instructions, we've got the goalkeeper, which will distribute to the target man. He's just going to be set as defend. The two centre-backs will be set as close down less. I'll explain that in a minute. Reason being, because we're pushed high up the pitch, we're pressing, all the players are pressing the opposition. Now, if you have your two centre-backs pressing, they're going to come up, leave a gap for the opposition to expose, and you could concede a goal that way. So if you have them as closed down less, if you watch Barcelona play, you see all the players, Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi, pressing the opposition. But if you watch Piqué and Puyol when he used to play, they'd sit back and they'd only get a tackle in at the right time. They wouldn't push an opposition player because that would leave a space and the opposition can get in behind the back four and get a shot at goal. The wing backs will be both set as complete wing backs. They're going to supply the width to the team because you're not going to be using wingers. They're going to be on attack duty as well. When you lose the ball, they'll track back. So I don't want you to worry about, if they're up the pitch, if you lose the ball, I'll only have two defenders. It's not going to work like that. If they're going to get up the pitch, hug the touchline, wait for the ball to come to him and whip it in the box. When you lose the ball, they'll sprint back and you'll have your four defenders defending your net. Same with the left back as well. Now, because they're pushing up, to give your centre-backs a bit more cover, we're going to have a ball-winning midfielder set as support. If you do lose the ball and your wing-backs are up the pitch, what will happen? You'll have your two centre-backs and your ball-winning midfielder will drop back and give a bit more support to your centre-backs. You've then got two box-to-box midfielders, both set as moving to the channels. Because you've got no wingers, they'll come out a little bit wide, help the wing-backs move the ball about as well. When you lose the ball, they'll cut inside, leave a three-man midfield, which will be very hard to break down. The opposition have then got to get past your anchor man, set as a ball-winning midfielder, then your centre-backs, then the goalkeeper. So it will be a very efficient, structured team, very hard to break down. So this will work playing at home and away. So you've got your box-to-box midfielders. When you've got the ball, they'll move up and help out up front. When you lose the ball, they'll sprint back and help out your defenders as well. You've then got I've got this as advanced playmaker, but I'm going to put it as roaming playmaker. The roaming playmaker will be the engine of the team. He's going to float around all over the pitch, looking to receive the ball. If one of your players are in trouble and can't find a pass, I'm sure your roaming playmaker will find a bit of space and give the other player an option to pass to. Like I said, he's going to be the engine of the team. Everything's going to go through him. He's a roaming playmaker. He's going to float all around here. Set up your box-to-box midfielders, set up your two strikers as well. And if your wing-backs are in space, you can also supply them as well. They can whip it into the box and you might just create an opportunity to score. You'll also have a target man because you're using wing-backs and you want to try and get the best out of your crosses. If you've got a big, tall target man in your team, you want someone who's strong, someone who's got a good jumping reach, decent at heading and finishing as well, decent teamwork and work rate. Because like I said, we're not using technical attributes in this tactic. We're using the best out of physical attributes and work rate, teamwork, determination, bravery, and aggression. And that'd be good for a target man as well. If you can get an aggressive target man, when you cross the ball in, you don't want your target man to be pussying out of putting his head where others might not. You want him to get stuck in and cause problems for the centre-back. You'll also add the advanced forward. If the roaming playmaker has found a bit of space, the advanced forward could find a bit of space as well. And he can play a through ball behind the back four. It just offers a little different to the target man. If the wing backs are being marked and they can't get the ball in, you can move it around the centre of the park and the advanced forward will find some space and try and score that way. So, you've got your goalkeeper, your back four, your ball-winning midfielder, your two box-to-box midfielders that'll run up the pitch when you've got the ball, run back when you've not got it. You've got your roaming playmaker, who is the engine of the team, your target man, and your advanced forward. Now, for each role, your goalkeeper, I'm not going to go through that. Everyone should know what makes a good goalkeeper. For your wing backs, you want someone who's decent at crossing. If you played in the Vanarama Conference South or North, or just the Vanarama Conference, maybe Sky Bet League 2 as well, you want someone who's decent at crossing. Maybe if you can get 10 or over on that attribute, that would be very good. A good work rate and teamwork as well. Someone who reads the game pretty well. Tackling, yeah, not a massive attribute for a wing back because I have set the 2 box-to-box midfielders as moving to the channels as well, so they will come over and help out if you do lose the ball and help out the wing backs. So decent crossing, pretty quick, good stamina because they will be bombing up and down all day, and good work rate. Your centre backs, you should know what you need to be a good centre back. As you can see, this one here, Sean Cronin, his aggression is very good. That's 15. Leadership 16. Bravery 14. These are the attributes you want to be looking for because you're going to find it very difficult to get good technical players in the team in the lower leagues. So you do want to be looking at the mental attributes, especially the ones that don't consider any technical attribute at all. You know, as I've said a couple of times now, work rate, teamwork, aggression, bravery, determination. Because if you get a lot of players in your team who are all determined, all work hard, they've all got, they're all quite aggressive, quite brave. It'll be a good, solid team performance, and I'm sure you'll get a lot of victories using this tactic. So the set pieces, the corners will be attack near post on both sides. Goalkeeper set as default. You want your left back and your right back staying back along with your ball winning midfielder. He can stay back as well. You've got one of your centre backs attacking the far post. You've got the near post flick on with another centre back. Your tall striker, your target man, also at the near post. And one of your players challenging the goalkeeper, making it hard for him to come and claim the ball. Everyone else will be forward. So if you lose the ball, if the goalkeeper does claim it or a defender heads it out and the other team tries to launch a counter-attack, you've got 3 players here. Usually your wing-backs are pretty quick. You've also got your ball-winning midfielder who should be good at defending to help out if you do lose the ball. So you'll be whipping it in at the near post. You've got your tall centre-back. You've also got your target man who will try and head it in. If not, they'll try and get a flick on. And you've got other players in the box who'll try and get on the end of that and put it in the back of the net. Defending corners, you've got your 2 full-backs marking each post. You've got your 2 centre-backs marking the tall players because your centre-back should be pretty tall anyway. You've got your defensive midfielder, who is the ball winner, marking the 6-yard box, along with a midfielder and your target man. If you have your target man in the box as well, you can use his size as defending. If you watch Man United, they always put Fellaini in the box when they're defending corners. It's a very good attribute to have. You know, someone who's tall, strong, can head. Although it's good going forward, it can also help out when you're defending corners as well. You'll have one of your players on the edge of the area if you do win the ball back, and 2 players up front. So if you do win the ball back and it lands to this player, he can launch it forward. You've got 2 players up front and you can launch a counter-attack like that. Your free kicks, this is pretty simple. A bit like the corners, you've got your 2 full-backs staying back with your defensive midfielder. Everyone else pretty much forward, and a centre mid stay back if needed. You know, if you're 1-0 up, it's the 90th minute and you've got a free kick, you might need more players back. So I've put this as stay back if needed, just to give a bit more cover in case the other team try to launch a counter-attack. You will be whipping it in to the best header of the ball, so it will either be a centre back or your target man, and I'm sure you'll score a few goals using the set piece here for the free kicks. Defending free kicks, I'm going to leave that default. You can have a play around with that yourself. I usually leave it default when I'm playing Football Manager 2015. You can have a play about with it, see if you can come up with something. Because sometimes mine are usually pretty risky, and if I put that into this tactic, people might complain and say the tactic worked very well. But when we're defending free kicks, we left ourselves open and conceded a few goals. So I'm going to leave that one to you to do your own defending free kicks, because I think the one I use is usually a little bit risky, and it could backfire, especially in the lower league. It could backfire on anyone who's downloading this tactic. For the throw-ins, we're going to go long. So if you've got a good throw-in taker, try and get the best out of him. So you've got your defensive midfielder staying back along with your 2 full-backs, your 2 centre-backs going forward, everyone else forward as well. And you've got your target man, who's probably going to be the biggest man on your team, on the near post, trying to get the flick on. If you remember Stoke a few years ago, they used to use that guy. I can't remember. Rory Delap, that's his name. He used to launch it in. Someone like Huth or Shawcross would get the flick on, get it in the box, and they'd score a lot of goals like that. Now, when you're playing in the conference, you do want to get the best out of your set pieces because they are the difference between a draw and a victory. So I'm sure these set pieces I've set up here will work a treat. So I think that is going to be it. I know the videos are usually longer because I do go through each player for each team. Say if I was doing Real Madrid, I'd go through each player, show you his cons, show you his pros, show you what he's good at, what he's crap at. But because I'm using this as a example for every lower league team, you could even use it if you was in the Danish league or the Polish. You know, them leagues don't really have the best technical players. This tactic might work in there as well. So that is going to be the end of the video. Hit the like button if you want to see more of these videos. If you want to recommend a team for the next video, use the comment section under the video and nominate your team like that. If you want to see the rest of this series, hit that subscribe button. There's someone else doing a series as well on the FMScout YouTube channel. It's a very good series. Check that out as well. I'm enjoying watching that series. He's doing a very good job with what he's doing there. So subscribe as well if you want to see the rest of this series. If you want to check out my personal YouTube channel, there's a link under the video for that as well. So that is the end of the video. I hope this tactic works for you. Usually when I post it on the FMScout website, it takes usually about 24 hours to go on there. So if you're watching this video in the first 10 minutes of it being uploaded and the link isn't there, it's usually there within 24 hours as soon as it's been processed on their website. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.